Okay, if I can get this review done in under 10 minutes, that would be awesome. So this is obviously your NXT review for August 22nd, 2018. For a lot of people, this would consider the post-takeover edition of NXT. For me, honestly, it really wasn't. I consider the post-takeover NXT next week's show, when they go back to Full Sail University and we'll see what they do leading into the fall, into the end of the year and stuff like that. But literally this episode was highlight heavy from what happened at TakeOver Brooklyn 4 and some of the interview that took place literally after every single match. Now, there are two matches on this show that were recorded literally an hour before TakeOver Brooklyn 4, which is crazy because, as you all know, I was there. I was at the Barclays Center for that event, but I did not watch these matches that they recorded an hour before TakeOver. Reason being is because, well, me and Walter were walking around Barclays Center and we were just drinking literally before the actual event started. So we did not watch these matches live, if you will. So I was able to watch them now, and I thought the two matches were pretty much enjoyable matches, in my honest opinion. But I thought, again, this episode, if you think about it, was a skippable show. But if you really want to watch these matches, if anything, go out of your way to watch ZACK GIBSON versus Pete Dunne. That's my honest opinion. I was always waiting for you motherfuckers in the comments below. Give me your thoughts on this week's show. If you liked it, if you did not like it, or if not, did you just enjoy Pete Dunne versus ZACK GIBSON? All right. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven, where I tweet throughout all these shows: Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Impact, pay-per-views, and above all else, with all you crazy, sick, twisted mother flowers out there. So this show kicked off with Bianca Belair returning versus Deonna Purrazzo. Now, you all know Deonna Purrazzo has recently signed with WWE. She's part of NXT, but she's also going to take part in the second Mae Young Classic. Now, you all know as well, Bianca Belair, she was part of the inaugural one. They were mentioning that on commentary tonight. And I thought the match, for what it was a pretty solid match. Went back and forth. Usually when they bring in someone that's going to be part of the Mae Young Classic, in this case Deonna Purrazzo, they brought her in as an enhancement talent. But she had some good offense in this match. Don't get me the fuck wrong. People were chanting "Too Sweet," whoop whoop, because again, she is dating Marty Scurll from the Bullet Club. But again, I thought this match, for what it was a pretty, solid match. I'm going to say this too. I feel like someone like Deonna Purrazzo, I feel like she's going to do a lot of good things coming up at NXT once the tournament is over, and we'll see how that goes. But for Bianca Belair, because she did win the match, obviously, right? Bianca Belair, now that Kairi Sane is the new NXT Women's Champion, I feel like if there's anyone that's being groomed to eventually take the belt of Kairi Sane, it's going to be Bianca Belair. It may not be at the upcoming TakeOver, but I feel like by the time we hit to Mania weekend next year, Bianca Belair will be probably the NXT Women's Champion. But again, I thought the match was a pretty solid match back and forth. There was a moment where literally Deonna Purrazzo did lock in the Fujiwara armbar, but again, to no prevail. But it was all said and done. Bianca Belair get the win. She's back. She's still the EST of NXT. And again, Bianca Belair, like I said, is a star in the making. But again, throughout this whole show as well, there was a lot of just highlights and stuff like that. And I'm going to say this too, because I get it. Yeah, this episode is a highlight show, and I get TakeOver is a special thing. But don't be surprised if soon, real soon, because again, yes, NXT is Triple H run, but it's Vince owned, right? Don't be surprised if real soon there'll be kickoff matches on NXT TakeOvers. And this is where that'll kick in. Because I feel like, if anything, you could have easily done a kickoff show on NXT for TakeOver Brooklyn, in my honest opinion, and show these matches. They could have easily done that, in my honest opinion. But hey, take it for what it's worth, okay? But again, they show highlights from what happened between Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Highlights from Adam Cole versus Ricochet, which is cool because they showed an interview with Ricochet. We got interrupted by the Undisputed Era. Pete Dunne got involved, and Ricochet goes to thank Pete Dunne for stepping in, right? And he's like, "I'm not your friend. I just don't like the Undisputed Era just like everyone else. But you have something that I want. You have a piece of gold that I want. That being that Ricochet now has the North American Championship. And as you all know, Pete Dunne is the UK champion. Just imagine that match right now. Pete Dunne versus Ricochet. Title for title. Shut up and take my money. Shut up and take my fucking money. Can you imagine that? Pete Dunne versus Ricochet. Title for title. Champion versus champion. Right? And think about it too, right? There really isn't nobody right now they're probably beating Pete Dunne. So we'll see how that goes. But again, just highlight heavy. They even showed highlights from EC3 Velveteen Dream. They showed highlights from Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa and all that. And we find out that next week it will be Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong versus Ricochet and Pete Dunne. Then we get the last match on the show. Again, this will be a short review, by the way. We had Pete Dunne defending the UK Championship versus ZACK GIBSON. Now, ZACK GIBSON, to my understanding, he did win the second UK Championship tournament over in the UK. And as you all know, they are really, really pushing strong the NXT UK scene right now. Apparently, there'll be tapings coming up real soon. They're going to crown, apparently, an inaugural, that is, NXT Women's Champion also down the road. And I like the exposure they gave here to ZACK GIBSON. I thought the match obviously was a very, very enjoyable match. Crazy back and forth offense here. It looked like, again, that they were throwing the idea that ZACK GIBSON came up close to beat Pete Dunne. It's crazy when you think about it, right? They even said on commentary how Pete Dunne, every single match, locks in these wrist locks and just puts pain on the opponent, right? But crazy someone just as equal to Pete Dunne doing the same thing to Pete Dunne. That being ZACK GIBSON. And crazy back and forth match. Like I said, they even showed a highlight of ZACK GIBSON, who he is, and all that stuff. I mean, it was crazy. There was a moment in this match where they're both locked in, like their legs are locked, right? And they're literally standing on their hands and they're hitting each other, which I thought was crazy to see. But when it was all said and done, there was a moment at the end of the match where literally Pete Dunne didn't have his mouthpiece on. His mouthpiece came off, I guess, from a punch or so, what have you, right? And he's literally going for his mouthpiece, and ZACK GIBSON steps on his hand. And then Pete Dunne, he literally snaps off the fingers of ZACK GIBSON, he literally hits the bitter end for the 1-2-3. So Pete Dunne retains. I thought, again, was a very, very enjoyable match. And you wonder now what's going to happen now. Again, with the fact that we're getting the NXT UK scene coming up real soon, there's tapings happening. I look forward to seeing what's going to happen with that division, with that scene over there in the UK. And overall, again, I thought NXT this week was just a skippable show, with the exception of the main event being, again, Pete Dunne versus ZACK GIBSON. But like I said in this review, that don't be surprised if real soon takeovers have a kickoff show, and you could put this on the kickoff show. And I get for some people, it'll be a thing to frown on, but I don't think it'll be a bad idea at all. Take it for what it's worth. But I look forward to seeing next week's show, because to me, next week's show will be the post-Takeover Brooklyn 4 show. I did a vlog for Takeover Brooklyn 4. If you have not watched the vlog yet, I have a link down below in the description. Go watch it. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. Give me your thoughts, as always, in the comment below, your thoughts on this week's show of NXT and all that fun stuff. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. If you're new to the channel, hit the sub button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. And as always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, it's me, it's Steve, and I'm out. I am so happy I got this video done in under 10 minutes. Victory, mother flowers. Victory it is. Yay! You have no idea how happy I am right now. Fucking hell.